Share. Got it. And action.
Welcome to our gathering of artists, producers, writers, and curious listeners. We are NatCon News, the most trusted name in early Sunday morning news and views, broadcast in front of a live studio audience.
Breaking news, folks. We've just received a mysterious package.
A message and a package. Where is it?
Backstage.
Tell them to open it.
Are you there? Have you opened it yet? Wait. Is it ticking?
Is it ticking?
They say no. They're opening it now. It's a VHS tape.
Great. Let's play it. It's probably important, earth-shattering news. Can't or won't? You know those backstage people secretly hate the news.
No, it's not it. We tossed the VHS player about 30 years ago.
The world could be ending soon and we'll never know. I mean, we'll know after it starts happening. But our job is to know things before anyone else does. When the world starts ending, people will say, why didn't NatCon News tell us? But they'll probably have other things to think about. I'm just babbling, but I really wanted to know what was on the VHS tape, and now we'll never know.
Wait, they say there's also a thumb drive and a note in the bag. They're plugging the drive in now. It'll be on the screen in a sec. Wait for it. Wait for it.
What? What? What is that? What is going on? What is this? It appears to be a very important document. Yes, indeed. Let's see. I have to hold this up against a tree. Title: The Amazing Story of the Making of the Lattice Podcast, a model for creative collaboration. Presenters David Kluge, Gregory S. Lewis, and Sunil Matani. And various voice actors. Wow, that sounds kind of interesting, doesn't it? Let's have a look. Abstract. In preparation for Reel to Reel Film Festival and KOTESOL National Conference 2021, Rhea Metatuk, a conference chair for the event, suggested that the three of us get together to write a promotion for the film festival and conference. This must be something that has been put together by either Greg Kluge, David Lewis, or Matani Sunil. Did I get that right? No, it's David Kluge, Gregory S. Lewis, and Sunil Matani. Wow. So the three of us, this Rhea Metatuk, a conference chair anyway for the event, suggested that the three of us get together to write a promotion for the film festival conference. This started us on an amazing creative journey that ended in a short article promotion in the English Connection. I know the English Connection, Tech, TEC, that's a KOTESOL publication. And an extended version that ended up as a podcast. I love podcasts. The presenters will introduce the short article, play the podcast, and then will share their story of how these two projects came together. It is a story of unbridled creativity matched with quick collaboration and technical and dramatic talent. This sounds amazing. The presentation will end with reflections on how to structure successful creative collaboration projects. I want to know that. A question and answer session will conclude the presentation. So I get to ask questions and they will give answers. This I have got to see. Wow.
That 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 does sound amazing. Let's see where the trail leads. What do you have to say to that, other news anchor?
What do you mean?
I mean, let's do it. Have you got a copy of the English Connection handy?
Of course I do. You know I can't sleep without the current issue under my pillow.
You're a strange person.
I like to think of it as devoted. As I recall, I did see something on page 27 of the fall issue.
Read it. Read it.
Wait, didn't that guy in the garden say there was an extended podcast version?
Yes. Yes, I believe he did. What did the note in the bag say?
I don't know. I didn't ask.
I guess that's why you're called the anchor. You're always holding us back.
Backstage just said they've been reading our minds. Good heavens, I hope they're joking. And the notes. Apparently, it's a link to a podcast called the KOTESOL podcast. They're setting it up now.
Great. Should I get popcorn?
No time. Sit. Stay.
Woof.
Welcome to The Lattice, an homage to The Matrix, a presentation of the Youngin KOTESOL podcast. The Lattice is presented today to promote the KOTESOL Film Festival and National Conference coming November 3rd to 7th. For more information, visit KoreaTESOL.org. A link is provided in the show notes. The Lattice is written by David Kluge, Greg Lewis, and Sunil Matani. The narrator is voiced by Roger Fusselman. Red Pill, voiced by Stuart Gray, is a trip on the short film Magic Bus. Blue Pill, voiced by Linnea Alcesser, represents a journey of personal development through presentation and interaction. Nile, voiced by Martin Todd, is a Neo lookalike. By day, a language teacher. By night, a provider of bootleg software. Unity, voiced by Christy Dolson, is a Trinity androgynous lookalike. They represent the coming together of the National Conference and the Film Festival. Morpheus is voiced by James Rush. Morpheus is a Morpheus lookalike and leader of the Resistance. Finally, Shirtless Man and Agent Smith are both voiced by David Kluge. Now, prepare to enter The Lattice.
Opening scene, Neil's apartment. Neil, an ordinary young man by all accounts, is asleep in front of his computer, again, when the beep of a message wakes him. It simply says, "Reel to reel, do you want to know?" Neil feels like he's been waiting his whole life for this moment. Yes, he keys back.
Yes.
Follow the lattice is the next message, quickly followed by 3 hard knocks on his door. He opens the door, revealing a shirtless man.
Got a disc for me?
Yes. Wait here.
Neil fetches the disc and returns, handing the shirtless man a disc. The shirtless man takes the disc, quickly checking the disc's label, short film. The shirtless man looks back at Neil.
I'm going out tonight. Wanna come?
Nah, I better not.
Suit yourself.
But as the shirtless man turns to leave, Neil notices a large lattice tattooed to his backside. Chills run down his spine. Decision is reflected in his face.
Hey. Wait for me.
scene is now Morphorus's office. Morphorus, in a black coolstone leather greatcoat, stands facing the window. The shirtless man brings Neil into the room, and, as if on cue, there is a flash of lightning and a clap of thunder. And Morphorus turns slowly. A little slower. Yes, that's good. Neil tentatively accepts Morphorus's hand in greeting and takes a chair by the fireplace. Morphorus knows Neil has questions, but instead offers Neil 2 pills.
Take the blue pill and find yourself at the 2021 KOTESOL National Conference, a highly respected language education conference, giving presentations, watching presentations, networking, and taking selfies. Or you can take the red pill and learn all about the short film. The short film will change your life. The short film peers deep inside who you are and what you are doing here. The short film.
Voices come from the 2 pills.
Pick me. Develop your inner teacher.
No, pick me. Change your life.
Niall, listen to me. No one has ever regretted going to a national conference. No one. Ever. You will be free to wander the rooms of knowledge and learn from some of the best minds connected with education. Yes, I said connected, but don't be afraid. If you have any questions, you can join a Discord app online discussion. Come with me now, Niall, to the KoreaTesol.org website.
Oh, give me a break, will you, Blue? He doesn't want to stand in classrooms and conferences. He wants to get out, smell the air, the trees, and the buses, capture it all on film, create a matrix masterpiece, a rectangle of experiences from which he can develop his creative inner kid. Niall, listen to me. You must climb out of your rabbit hole. Niall, pick me, eat me.
What a load of hogwash. Niall, if you really want to make a difference, listen. Listen to the voices of reason. The conference is calling you to think critically, to make informed decisions that will help lead your pupils to knowledge and eventually wisdom. Niall, help me to help you. Eat me.
Are you serious? You're gonna go Jerry Maguire on him? Jeez, that's a new low, even for you, Blue.
Hey, Jerry turned out to be the good guy in the end. He found himself and he helped that other guy. The football player guy. He helped him find himself too.
Rod Tidwell. The football player, his client, his name was Rod Tidwell.
Sure. The point is, I'm the guy busting my ass to help my client. I'm the good guy. Asking Rod to trust me.
Our guy is Niall.
Whatever. You know who I mean.
Maybe I do, but it's a little confusing for our client when you start quoting a romantic comedy when wearing an homage to a science fiction action film.
Which goes to my point. Enough with the fun and games. He needs to spend some time in the halls of knowledge, which the National Conference provides.
Simulated knowledge. I'm talking about getting him out into the real world to experience it and film it as he goes.
Shaw.
Pshaw to you too.
Red and blue pill go on arguing. Suddenly, Neil pops both pills and swallows. And in that moment, he sees Unity, dressed in a purple leather unisuit, standing before him.
Who are you?
In a multi-voice mysteriously sounding like a melding of the voices of Blue Pill and Red Pill.
We are the intertwining of both the red and blue pills.
They say they will show Neil what that means and take his hand.
You will learn how to take your short film enter it in the Filmmaking Festival and learn how to fully participate in the KOTESOL National Conference. We are one.
Later, cut to the good ship Methuselah, about half the size of the Nebuchadnezzar. Beeping lights and flashing sounds erupt as an ominous voice warns,
"They're inside!"
Nearby, Neil lies comatose, with Unity holding his hand, protecting him. Cut to Neil running, searching for a ringing phone that he really needs to answer. Rushing into the room with the phone, Neil is instead confronted with a smileless Agent Smith with a fully loaded fountain pen pointed straight at his chest. Smith shoots. Ink runs down Neil's shirt. He can't believe it.
I can't believe it.
With the realization that his favorite shirt is ruined, Neil falls to the ground, thinking it's all over. 180-degree cut back to Unity, hovering above comatose Neil. Not the Neil with the ink stain. Well, yes, that Neil, but not. It's the Lattice. It's complicated. Unity, knowing how much Neil loves that shirt, and whispers in his ear,
"We know how to get the stain out."
Unity lays their healing hands on the stain. Neil has been changed somehow. He feels renewed, smarter, stronger. He suddenly opens his eyes and...
I don't take one dough. That's so much more.
In an instant, we are back to inked Neil, laying on the floor. The ink stain drains out of his shirt. He leaps to his feet, feeling like $1,000,000. He demands an apology from Agent Smith.
Apologize.
I'm sorry.
But the apology is too much for Smith, and he literally falls apart. And Neil, whispering to himself, says,
I'm beginning to believe.
As the music swells, we get a close-up pan from Neil flying off into the sky like a firework, off to the digital realm of the online KOTESOL conference. Cut to the exterior of Neil's building and close in on his open window. We peer inside while the computer in his room comes to life and a message flashes across the screen.
Everyone, take both the blue pill and the red pill. Do not try to bend the Sutkarak. It is impossible. Do not try to think about the anomalies. Just take it from me, the One. The online KOTESOL conference and film festival are both real, and part of the Lattice. Follow me, Niall.
You have been listening to a Jungian KOTESOL podcast production of The Lattice, an homage to The Matrix, and promotion of the 2021 Filmmaking Festival and National Conference being held online November 3rd to 7th. Visit KOTESOL.org for more information or check the podcast show notes here. My name is Greg Lewis. Thank you for listening.
Wow, and now I'm being told that we have some of the cast with us now. Let's do some introductions and then get to some questions.
Awesome. We have, thank you for being so patient. I kind of wondered how this would work on Zoom, playing audio of that length. And I thought, it's either just going to go Or I really appreciated your actions there, James.
Oh, yeah, that was gorgeous. A nice
Yeah.
coat, too.
I just
Indeed.
happen to have the coat right here on the back of the chair. And so, hey, we went with it.
Your
Hey, Greg.
dedication is amazing.
Yeah, Greg.
Yes.
We said we're recording. We're doing this before a live audience. I was the live audience, and then you muted me.
Sorry, I thought you didn't know your mic was on.
No, no.
The power of the button.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, not at all. It was hilarious.
Well, it was really nice to actually listen to the whole thing again and to hear people's parts in there. I'm curious, just what part did you, before I get to what parts did you like, Linnea, I think, is maybe new to the people here. I don't know, new to me. Can you tell us something about yourself?
Can you hear me? James, can you hear me now?
I can, yeah.
Okay, it's better. Okay. So I'm Linnea. I am from Canada. I've been teaching in Korea 5 years now. And I teach at a private elementary school.
Nice. Yeah, and whereabouts in Korea?
In Noanggu and Seoul.
Very good. Well, and Linnea, sorry, Linnea is one of two people who answered that ad. I put an ad asking for people, and Linnea made the cut.
So did the other not make the cut, or is
it was just a timing issue? He was a male. He would have been great. I've still got him on my list, so I'll get him. And I don't, Linnea, do you know the other people here?
I've been lurking in KOTESOL, so I'm aware of the people, but I never really met them officially.
There's a lot of lurking in KOTESOL.
Yes, yes.
So, James, who are you? And you, yeah.
After this performance, I don't know, Greg. It's changed me forever. So, yeah, James Rush, currently chapter president for Yongin. I've been here in Korea for the last 5 years. Got here in fall of 2016, and I'm a university instructor for first-year students, as well as being involved with the outreach team. I haven't done all that great of a job with that, but doing my best to try and get to know the other language associations throughout Asia, and just doing my best to learn and to be the sponge that we were created to be, and learn about language, other people, and how to best serve. So.
You do have your finger in many different pies, and newly married.
And newly married. Which I realized when I put my hands up, I was like, oh, she's going to watch and be like, where's the ring? I'm like, oh. So I'll fix that.
Well, thank you very much. And this is your second or third acting gig on the radio, on this recordings, right? I think.
We've done a couple different interactions, but this is the first time voice acting or
no, you're the where's the dog? So there's two.
Okay, yes, all right. Who let that dog out? I guess that was more of a call to not necessarily a full script. So but thank you for reminding me. Now I can put that onto my voice acting resume as well.
Exactly. And David, we have a member here from Japan. Tell us about yourself, David.
Yeah, I'm here in Japan. I've been here probably about much longer than Linnea has been on this earth. I've been in Japan for 40 years.
Wow.
And I came when I was 27.
You should have said I came when I was 7.
Yeah, I should have said that. But it's true that I am at retirement age. But I'm also very much involved in the Japan Association for Language Teaching, which is basically it is the sister organization to KOTESOL. And the Japan Association for Language Teaching is also an affiliate of KOTESOL Incorporated. And I have been involved in that for almost 40 years, but I started the Call SIG in '93, and then, well, I and one other person, and then 10 years ago, in 2011, I started the Performance and Education SIG. I'm based here in Nagoya, which is in the central part of Japan. And the Pi SIG, the Performance and Education Pi SIG, has conferences throughout the year. We have an annual conference in Sapporo during the Snow Festival. And we have another annual conference in Okinawa. We're going to be doing our 6th annual conference in Okinawa. And I'm an Okinawa chapter officer, even though I live 1,000 miles away. But and my background is theater.
Oh, that's what's happening here. I see.
Yep.
It's interesting the people that one meets putting together this kind of a performance, I guess you could say, and some have a theatrical background and some not at all. Some of them just right off the street, as it were. I don't, Linnea, do you have any theater background at all?
Drama in high school, if that counts.
Sure, that counts.
Definitely counts.
Okay.
Because I was a high school drama coach, so I think it counts a lot.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that counts a lot. And James, were you a high school thespian?
Was not. Sports kid all the way.
That's right.
And I went through my university years. Education was my major for that time, and the understanding of how much time and energy went into arts productions really grabbed my attention during the college years. And so then during my first teaching position, I was really blessed to be at a school that emphasized academics, arts, and athletics equally. And we had a number of star athletes that were also front and center or behind the stage. They were musicians that were in the pit or back behind the deal working the soundboard. And just to watch all those productions come together really made me want to do my best to put as much energy into promoting and encouraging and attending those kinds of events as much as any. I was a football coach at the time as well, and so I saw the balance there of how much some kids get recognition for being 2 sports stars. These kids were not only a couple sports, but they were also behind the stage or out in front of the stage singing musicals, and I was like, wow, this is important to education.
James, that's exactly how our high school was. So almost all of our top thespians were star athletes. They were quarterbacks. They were the captain of the basketball team. There was no separation between, and I was in track and cross country, 2 sports. Okay. The thing is, it's not mutually exclusive. As you said, James, the same sort of being in the zone applies to both the arts as well as sports.
Team communication, collaboration, critical thinking, problem solving,
all of it. Can I hire you to be a spokesperson for the Pi SIG, James?
I'd be very happy to be involved with that.
Sorry, that reminds me. The reason why I mentioned the conferences is I would love to get this group together again. Heidi, I've seen your thespian skills. I would like you to come to like Okinawa, and for our seriously, this is not a joke. Come to Okinawa and let's put together, almost like live on stage, put together a radio drama, a podcast. It would be. And do what James did is you get in the costume. So it's not a drama, but you got to get into the character, and I think it would be really cool.
Well, thank you for bringing Heidi into the conversation. Actually, I didn't want to leave you out. How tell us all about yourself. You sit silently in so many of these sessions.
Yeah. Well,
Lurking.
yes, I'm totally enjoying lurking, and I totally enjoyed the Lattice. I enjoyed listening to it again today. You know, it's one of those things you can listen to many times, and you notice different little things each time. I loved the music. Yeah, and I hope you get to talk about that a little bit.
Sure will.
Yeah, sound editing is something that I basically know nothing about, and so I'm just awestruck by all of it. But I loved all the little sound effects, the rustling of clothes and the shoes and all of that stuff. You know, I've long been a Prairie Home Companion fan. Yeah. And so that brought back lots of good memories too.
Oh, very good. Yeah. And your role here, your official role here
at the conference is human resources.
I think it's bigger than that. It seems like you're everywhere.
Yes, sort of the omnipresent human resources.
And your theater background?
Yes, I did theater in high school and college, a little bit of improv, not too much in high school. And student written productions were a big thing at my university. And I got involved with that as well.
Oh, very good. Well, that's cool. Shouldn't Miss Olenka, welcome Olenka to the podcast, to this session. Any questions about the podcast? You know, what you liked about it, or what you didn't like about it, and I'm happy to kind of go through how you put it together. What Heidi was just alluding to. I've got a little bit that we can sort of play with, if you like.
Sorry, Greg, I don't know if Olenka actually heard the podcast, because I don't know when she came in. If you could put the link in the chat, she would be able to access that and hear it on her own.
Okay. Okay. So go ahead and Linnea, when you listened to it, like for the first time after it all kind of came together, Linnea, I know you told me in the beginning it was okay to go either way, but I'll try to get it. Is there
Linnea
something
and
that
Rhea.
Linnea and Rhea? Well, thank you. So was there something there that kind of caught your attention, that made you giggle? How's that?
Honestly, I thought the whole thing was really funny, because I used to love The Matrix when I was younger. So like seeing the play off of that, I just thought like, oh, it's supposed to be Morpheus, but you changed the name. Like honestly though, the whole thing was really funny, and it was just like I'm not a satire, but basically making fun of The Matrix by also like giving recognition to it. So I actually thought the whole thing was pretty hilarious in my opinion.
I hope it paid homage to the real Matrix. Yeah. Go ahead, David.
I was going to say two things. One is, this is the first time for me to see Linnea. I saw James at a Youngin Chapter podcast. A Zoom meeting. Is that right?
Yeah.
And I've seen Heidi in several Zoom meetings for this conference. But actually, I had not seen Greg. I had not met Greg. And Sunil wanted to be here, but he had a very important family responsibility for a very important special holy day that he had to spend with the family. But I had never seen Sunil. I had not seen Greg. And we had finished the entire article for tech, and we had finished the entire script for the Matrix podcast, and I never saw them. So, and so I could only imagine. So I imagined like Stuart, when I listened to the podcast, I imagined Stuart as having a bow tie and big round glasses and maybe a trucker hat. And Linnea, I imagined you with kind of blonde, kind of a really nicely coiffed hair, kind of serious and older than you are now, because it was just perfect. I thought it was so. But the point is, we created the script without meeting each other, and Sunil was so we wrote it when we were on 3 different continents. No, 2 different continents, 3 different countries.
Yeah.
And I think no, 3 continents. Because, well, I'm sorry, no, I was hemispheres. How about we go with that? 2 different continents, 2 different hemispheres.
Yeah. So the thing, and the point is, we were talking about how do you come up with something like this? Well, the idea for this was Rhea's idea for us to do something, and I listened to what she wanted, and I came up with the idea of Matrix, because what came to me was these 2 things was were 2 things. One was that she wanted both the KOTESOL conference and the reel-to-reel to be connected together. She said, oh, wait a minute, unity. And so I came up with the idea. And so I put up the idea, and I turned around, and Greg had written the script. Seriously. From the time we started the idea, and I was waiting for somebody to take the leads, and nobody did. So I said, okay, here is a Google Doc that I shared with Greg and Sunil, and let's go at it. And 3 days later, we had the script finished. Unbelievable. 3 days later means the day that I put up the thing, and then 2 days after that.
Yeah.
And that was for the tech article.
Okay.
And then, so when you think about like a writing team, you think of a group of people in a small room around a table that get together. They know each other really well. We knew nothing about each other. I did not know what I had no. Actually, I'm sorry. I imagined Greg as much younger.
How old do you think I am?
I think you're a little bit younger than me.
A little bit.
Yeah. But the thing is, so the thing is, this went against all the typical ideas of how to come up with a creative task as a team, because we knew nothing about each other. We were just bouncing ideas, and the reason why I thought Greg was younger was he would be putting all these sexual innuendos between Neil and the no shirt man, and I'm saying, why? And he said,
well, that's right.
And that whole dialogue between Linnea and Stuart about the red pill and we're going into Jerry Maguire and the whole movie. I thought, Greg, why? He said, we just wanted to get the little, and then because all of these things, to me, is a mark of a young person, going in different directions and just going kind of crazy. But then I said, oh, okay, I get it. And then, but the thing was, so it does. I think the Google Docs, the Google tools, and Zoom have really changed this whole idea of working together as a team and creating something that was so fun to create.
Indeed. I've been sort of just playing here, pulling some things together, and actually recorded you a little bit, David, just so we've got something to work with. Any sort of responses or comments back to David there before I start to sort of show you a little bit about how things go together? or anything more you wanted to add, David?
Oh yeah, just one more thing, and that is, I said, how about adding more music? And then when we started, this is before I met you, and then I said, how about this? And you said, well, here's the link for the Superman music. And he goes, here. And I said, but we only, oh no, the Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee. I said, here. But I wanted until there. He said, of course. It was just like boom, 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 boom. It was unbelievable. It was like we were on this. It was like we were in the same room. It was like we were married.
I think I
appreciate
right there. The amount of effort and time that it took to layer in the cultural nuances. I mean, because you're touching on a movie with Jerry Maguire and some of the things that may or may not be in the contemporary thought of whoever's watching it. But with adding in the Taekwondo for the fight scene, also the language is that's I think. Getting location specific and cosmopolitanism and some of those kinds of things that are buzzwords in language and linguistics, but you actually applied them and put them into practice. So I thought that was really
Did
great.
you notice I added I changed the spoon where the little kid bends the spoon and said the secret is not to try to bend the spoon. The secret is the spoon does not exist. But the thing was, so I changed spoon to the Korean. Yes.
Right.
I
thought that the actor who did that, who is what's his name? I have another friend, Todd, Martin Todd, who played the Neil Nile, which was that was a really interesting sort of a hiccup in the recording. Is different people pronounced things like the name Nile by some people as Nile and other people said Neil, and so I just had to run with it. It's kind of how it goes. I did get the guy that was the narrator, Fusselman, Neil Fusselman. That's why he. He was. I got him to redo one little part, but other than that, I used exactly what you all sent me. I mean, I kind of played with the sound a little bit, but I really didn't do too much.
Sorry, maybe we know this, but Heidi doesn't. None of us met when people were in conversation. We recorded individual lines, and Greg then put them together into dialogue. So none of us were with the other. We recorded our own lines individually with a space between the lines, and then sent them to Greg, and he put the whole thing together.
Right.
Yeah.
How many hours have you estimated or run through how much time you put into it, Greg?
It's really hard to say, but I'm guessing like if you just sort of added all together, maybe a couple of days of hours. Yeah. I mean, I just kind of worked on it when I could. But
that's a difficult way to act because you don't have somebody to respond to, and it's difficult to get like the same level of energy between the different actors. And I was really impressed with Linnea and Stuart. You both had so much energy. You really balanced each other with that part. It really amazes me that you couldn't hear each other.
Well, actually, Stuart did his first, and then Greg sent me his pieces, so I had something to go off of. So I actually kind of understood when I heard it already what kind of Red Pill sounded like.
I wish I'd saved your recordings from the very beginning. You did a sample, I think.
Yeah, and it was a very different sound. I was kind of going for a more like fairy godmother sound.
Yeah.
But then I heard Stuart, and I was like, okay, no, that's not right.
But cool that you picked it up, and I don't know how. Same question actually to the actors. Like, how long did you spend trying to think? Okay, how should I do this?
How longer than I should have, I think. I kept going and I kept recording over and over. I'm like, no, that doesn't sound right. I have to do it again. So it definitely took a while. I thought I'd be like, oh yeah, 10 minutes, I'll be done. No, it took way longer than that.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Same here, because I had two things I had to consider. One is I did not want to sound like my first tenor voice that I usually speak with, and often in the States when I'd answer the phone, I'd be I'd be called ma'am. You know, so I wanted to have a different voice, and then I had to have another different voice for Agent Smith.
Right.
So so I had to get two voices that were different from my own. But when I listened to it, I thought, no, that's me. I mean, that was my voice. It was not much of a difference. It was deeper, but both were recognizable as David. So sorry about that.
I added different effects to the different characters, to sort of differentiate them. But really good to know how much work you put in, because I don't think I don't appreciate how much what I'm asking you to do is a lot. Here, do something with this. I mean, that's a lot. So I really appreciate and thank you for telling me, Linnea, how much effort you did put into it. I appreciate that.
And Greg, I think it was really impressive that you remembered how to pronounce Linnea just now.
It's taken me, I don't know, 4 months.
When I said cool, Linnea, when you heard the effect on your voice when you were the red pill, blue, when your Unity, the red pill, blue pill together,
that was you, wasn't it? Unity is somebody else.
Yeah, Unity is Christy Dolson.
Okay, sorry, but sorry then. But anyway, didn't you think that was cool when you heard that voice? It was, and that's why I said cool. And then you muted me.
Actually, Christy did her own effects. I always tell everybody, just give it to me raw. I can work with that. But she didn't listen to me at all, and I'm really glad she didn't. What she sent me, she kind of created those voices. I sort of modulated them a little bit, but not much. She really sent me what I would have thought would fit. And
wow.
Yeah.
So I think adding the show notes and the, kind of creating a context, I had a general idea of what, the movie was and what this kind of figure was, but, you added a few other details about, making it sound like you're giving this, future prophetic kind of proclamation. And so those kinds of things help to set the scene, and especially when you're not playing off of another actor's voice or body language. So that was helpful.
Yeah, you were in a room in Malaysia.
Sorry, Greg. Yep. Greg, I think we're over time. Is that right?
Oh, are we? Sorry. I was not paying attention at all.
But I did want to say that after our initial TEC article, both Greg and I wanted to continue because it was such a great experience, and Greg wanted to do the podcast, and we did that. And after this whole thing, I say, let's do it again, a different story. Let's come up with a different story. So I'm going to start another Google Doc. I'm going to send it to Greg, and please then add the other people that worked on this one, and come up with some ideas of what you want to do next. It's not something that's going to come up really soon, but just to get some ideas percolating for when we come to Okinawa and put together no, seriously. For me, I don't know how it is for you, but for me to go to Okinawa and back is $130 US. That's round trip.
By the time, when are you looking at for dates? Just to plug it?
I don't know. I'll do it this way. When are you guys available? Then let's make it. And Heidi, you are definitely invited to Okinawa in this venture. Seriously. And the last time I was in Okinawa, with my wife, we were there for 4 nights, 5 days. The hotel for both of us was only $300 US, and the round trip fare was $230. So it is extremely doable, and I imagine it's pretty similar to that from Korea. So let's do it
next time in Okinawa.
All right. Is there another host that's coming in, Heidi?
No, the plenary is next, so you don't have to worry about that.
Oh, good.
And the plenary is on a different account.
Good.
And starts at 11.
Yep.
So Heidi, the thing is, Heidi, what questions did you have for Greg? I cut things short because I noticed we were like 6 minutes overtime, but we have a few minutes more. Unless you want to go see the plenary, then we have just a few minutes more. But what questions did Greg answer your questions about how he put it together?
I think when Greg was talking, that was kind of when I had to check the other account. So I might have missed what you said.
Well, I didn't actually go in. I can just sort of share my screen. How much time do I have?
Well, we
do
have
you
about
have?
5 minutes before the plenary starts.
Okay. I think, so you should be looking at what I use is Audacity.
Me too.
Yeah. And I think James, actually I should say James is he started the Young and KOTESOL podcast in 2018, I think it was.
Martin, also one of the voice actors in there, actually between him and I. So yes, it was kind of an idea from him, came to me, and then I was doing it on a very basic level. iPhone in hand, press the record button, and then I talk and you talk, and then I talk and you talk, and no editing whatsoever. I tried Audacity and it was audacious, and I it was overwhelming, and it's so please continue with how you worked your magic.
Well, first of all, I took from what you said, I spend money on mics and paraphernalia, but I still use my smartphone to record many different things, sounds. For example, I just would make sure that I'm sharing my sound here. Yeah. So I would just, this is just walking down this is just opening my office door, for example, and it's just on my smartphone and closing the door. That's how simple it really is to do this. You don't need really a lot of fancy equipment for recording the sounds all around you. As far as putting things together goes, you can, if I just unmute these. So I recorded a little bit here that is David speaking.
With the idea of Matrix, because what came to me was
okay, so whatever you most people hate their voice, that's true. So you can just, with the Audacity, you just put your hand there and I can move that around. Okay. When it's gray, all these tracks that are gray are muted. Okay. So I can take this. This is the ending of this music that we started with.
With the idea of,
okay, so you can see I can just play in something else there. Same thing here. If I wanted to have some, David walking into the room, I can, and then have him speaking. I can just put my bar there and go up to edit, and this is clip boundary. So I can just cut it and move it over here. So then I can have him, walk up to the door. And if it's too much space there, I can just highlight, this bit here, walking up to the door, and then just delete that, shorten it up, move him in a little closer to where he's speaking, and then.
With the idea of.
Okay, so that's how they can come together. Also, he's coming in a little bit loud there. So there's a little tool up here that's an envelope, and I can fade him in. There's ways you can do these automatically, but I can just sort of squish down his first bit there and maybe move him back a little bit, and then try it again, see if I like it better.
The idea of Matrix, because what
okay, so that's like very, very quickly, that's how it sort of comes together, and you just keep moving things around and juggling the balls, and it's fun once you kind of get used to how it goes. I get the understanding there's a learning curve for sure. But once you get onto whatever program you use, I use Audacity, but there's so many different ones.
It seems like the learning curve maybe with like Photoshop or some of the other matters where you get 2 or 3 core tools that you really start working with and you do the things, and then you start to get into some of the other bells and whistles in more detail.
But the big thing is Audacity is free. Free
Yes.
downloadable software that is so powerful.
Yeah, it is. It's a really a great tool. So if you've got any questions, please feel free to contact me. Everybody's got my contact information. I'm happy to help you out if you're whatever your projects are. And thank you very much, everybody, for helping out and making it come alive. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Linnea. Thank you, James. Thank you, Heidi.
Guys.
We'll talk to you again. Bye-bye.
Okay, see ya. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey,
yep,
Greg.
Yep.
Well done. It worked.
Yeah, that's great. I gotta stop recording.
Oh, good idea.